Hi guys, and welcome back to Completed It Mate. This week I'm starting a brand new feature which I hope will become more regular. I'm calling it Random Retro Review. Basically, I've written down a load of old games and I've put them in a hat, and then I'm going to pick one at random and bang on about it for a bit. This is my favourite hat. I wear it quite a lot. If anyone's seen any footage of when I do my football podcast, I'm usually wearing this hat. It's actually a lady's hat. Now, I'm classing pretty much any game that isn't on a current gen console, if that makes sense, as a retro game. So anything, you know, PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 and older, they're all classed as retro games. So, without further ado, let's see what game I'll be playing in Random Retro Review. I'm going to have a little pick one of these. Going for what one that feels the best. Alright. Let's have a look what we got. Ah! It's a good one. It's a pretty good one. It is Golden Axe. Let me hold that close to the camera. Golden Axe. It is one of my all-time favourites. It's an arcade game that was released on the Genesis in 1989, and then us in Europe had to wait almost a year later when it was released in 1990 for the SEGA Mega Drive. It was also on the Master System, I think, as well. I'm not sure. I was only 3 years old, so I don't have a vivid memory of, you know, waiting for the game to come out. But if you weren't born in the 80s, unlike Calvin Harris, who hates you, I still love you, but that is no excuse for not knowing about this game. So I'm pretty confident that everyone watching this right now is going to know Golden Axe or has played Golden Axe and has a lot of fond memories about this game. It's a classic scrolling game, like most of the games around this time. It was a quest to the right. We must go right. What way do we go? Right. Go towards the right. That was basically the rule for computer games. You pick from 3 characters: a dwarf with an axe, a bloke with a sword, and a lady with a sword. Now, on the game, she isn't so hot, but on the front cover, whoa mama. As a kid, I used to think she was quite sexy, but I was too young to understand why I enjoyed looking at the cover of this video game so much. So I had to have a quick look on Wikipedia, because even though this is one of my childhood games I used to play all the time, I never actually really knew what the point of the story was. Back in those days, I was more than happy to just walk from left to right, killing anything in my way without any kind of reason, like a psychopath. So basically, we're in a world called Yuria, and it's set in Lord of the Rings times. I've got a friend who has a degree in history, and Lord of the Rings times is an actual sort of historical time in human history. And there's some evil geezer called Death Adder. He's holding the king and his daughter as prisoner in his castle. The henchmen of the evil adder guy are sort of running amok, ruining the day for the villagers, just getting on their nerves a bit, maybe killing them somewhat. And for some reason the village is on the back of a turtle, a flying turtle. Makes sense. And your main objective is to head to the castle, rescue the king and daughter, and kill Death Adder, I guess. I've never actually completed the game, and if anyone who has completed it, make sure you leave a comment in the box below, because I'd love to know what happens. Now, your main moves are jumping, kicking, and swinging your weapon about. Is there a more pleasurable noise than the sound of the sword swinging and you hitting one of the bad guys is absolutely brilliant. Plus, with the brilliant soundtrack, your ears are well looked after in this game. You can also call on your magic powers when things get a bit too tough. How much damage you can inflict with your special, it depends on how many blue bottles you're carrying. You collect these little blue bottles throughout the game by kicking little men up the arse. It's not an easy game, as I mentioned. I've not completed it. Mate, despite how many hours I put into the game as a kid, I just used to play it constantly. The bosses do get really tough. Gameplay wise, it's slightly more complicated than Sonic or Mario in that you can sort of go up or down or like further away or closer. Not sure how to... Basically there's depth. There's depth in the game, which sort of makes things tricky when you're trying to line up with the bad guy and hit them, because sometimes you're just hitting behind them or hitting at the front. But that's the only bad part of the game. The rest of it is absolutely brilliant. All in all, I love this game. I'm very fond of it. It has a place in my heart. And I'm pretty sure most of you watching this feel the same. If you're a little bit younger and you haven't played this game, shame on you. I urge you to get your hands on this game in any way possible. You know, either go out and buy a Mega Drive on eBay or download the ROM emulator thing to your computer. Just any way you can play this game, make sure you do, because it's a huge game and it has its place in console history, and it stood the test of time and people still talk about it today, and it's still very much a part of, you know, gamers' consciousness. Before I go, it is competition time, and it's a blooming good one. I'm giving away this mini Mega Drive console that plays all your Mega Drive games, has 80 games already built in, and comes with 2 controllers. To be in with a chance of winning it, you must subscribe to this channel, tweet and share this video, include me in the tweet, include the hashtag #CompletedItMate. So that's it for my first ever random retro review. I think it went pretty well. Let me know what you thought in the comments box below. I absolutely read every single comment, and I try to reply to as many as I can, but if you make a comment, I will read it. So thank you. Please subscribe, please like, please share. I'm off. Adios.